Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. This is Dream Another Day Tarot, and this is going to be a reading for whoever needs to hear it. Please keep in mind these are general readings, so they may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does and leave the rest for somebody else. Please also keep in mind that gender is fluid in tarot, so just place yourself where you fit in the storyline regardless of gender, and I will use gender neutral language as much as possible in order to make these readings more inclusive. Please also check the description box for all my other disclaimers if you're interested. That's also where you will find the info on how to book me for a personal reading. I am doing those, as well as my donation links if you'd like to drop me a donation. It really means a lot. Thank you so much to everyone who has supported this channel from the very beginning. Y'all mean a lot to me, and of course to my new subscribers. So thanks so much for being here. That's also where you'll find my link tree. That is how you will reach me for a personal. Just find my Instagram in there. Wow. And then you can also check out my other projects. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. Wow, thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We're deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide the collective spirit for their highest good, and please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Okay, Eight of Cups coming out. First card out, Eight of Cups. Okay, walking away. All right. Walking away from something that you have tried to make work, okay? The Eight of Cups is all about, basically trying everything until you finally realize that it's just not meant for you, okay? And that's good. Look at that Sun card at the bottom of the deck. I immediately felt like this is a good thing. This is a relinquishing, okay? This is a letting go of something that is just, it's just not working for you, whatever it is. And I know that that can be challenging, okay? The Eight of Cups is an emotionally challenging card. This is about walking away from something that is challenging to walk away from. So something that you've thought a lot about, something that you have, considered all the options and all the angles, and it's still just equaling out to, it's time to go. Okay, Spirit wants me to take this top card. Look at that, the Magician, okay? So you've been manifesting something, okay? Part of you, maybe subconsciously during this time, or maybe very consciously, you have been trying to manifest this walking away, okay? This walking away moment, whatever it is. The Eight of Cups is kind of like the last peek over the shoulder, right? Before you continue forward in your journey and decide that this is no longer right for you. So with the Magician card, you are recognizing that you have everything in your power, and you have all of the tools necessary of all the elements, right, in order to move forward and walk away from this, whatever it is. Could be a relationship, could be a job, could be, a place you're living, it really all just depends, okay? So you'll know. Let's get further into the reading and then we'll find out. Please do join me for my live on Friday. There you can ask me questions for free, and I will answer them to the best of my ability during the live. So just drop them in the chat box for me. And also, you're welcome to drop me a donation there if you'd like, but of course the messages are free on my live. So come join me on Friday evening. That'll be probably sometime between like 9 and 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So also, if y'all haven't subscribed yet and you're watching my messages, please do, because if I reach 500 subscribers by the end of the summer, then I will be able to use the community tab where I can give you guys a heads up and I can let you know about special offers and things like that, okay? So King of Wands. King of Wands is all about, taking your power back, pursuing your passions. You may be a fire sign, okay, Sagittarius, Leo, or Aries, but you don't have to be, okay? We all have all of the astrological signs in our chart somewhere, right? Just some of us in varying degrees, but we're all born under the same set of stars, if that makes sense, okay? Just different times of the year. So the way that they impact your life is just going to be different depending on when you're born, right? So this King of Wands is really talking about passion. I'm getting here that like you're deciding to walk away from, you could be walking away from a ideology, a way of thinking, a lifestyle. It could be a ton of different things. Look at that, Eight of Pentacles. Okay, now we have two eights coming out here. Okay. Wow, which, okay, 8 and 8 make 16, 6 and 1 make 7. 7 is a lucky number, in my opinion, okay? Eight of Pentacles also talks about hard work, okay? So I feel like that you have had to put in a lot of hard work into getting where you are now. Look at that, Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck, okay? This is talking about success, okay? Triumph over challenges. This is about public recognition, getting accolades for your hard work. So it's like, I feel like you are being recognized And you very well could be recognized just in like the public eye, but this also can be talking about being recognized by spirit, right? Like by the higher realms, and they're seeing the hard work you're doing and that you are doing your best to kind of manifest this new life or this new attitude, whatever it is. And again, you tried to make the old work, but it just wasn't working. So you decided, hey, you know what? I don't have to do this. It's a choice. And so I can choose something different, you know, if that is what's best for me. And so that's kind of the message here, is that you are putting in the work to create something better for yourself, basically, is what I'm getting. Even to create a better version of yourself, okay? Which is also very positive. We did get the Sun card at the bottom of the deck at the very beginning of the reading. So I think that you're focusing on your happiness, but your happiness, it's taking work for you to get to a place where that you are fully satisfied and happy and things are working out in your favor. Look at that. The sun wants to come out. Okay, awesome. Well, so again, I mean, the Sun card trumps every card in the deck. It's ultimate happiness and freedom and joy. Okay, bliss. You know, and a lot of times, y'all, you know, joy can be fleeting. Okay. And if our joy is tied to, you know, things working out right for us, then sometimes it's like things work out and then we're happy, and then maybe that fizzles, or those things, you know, only work out for a short time, or, you know, any number of things. But what I'm getting here is it's like you are working to create joy in your life that is consistent. Okay, or that continues to proliferate. It continues to, you know, feed into itself in a way, which is part of why I feel like this idea of you putting in all this work and effort, it's like you could be doing a lot of inner work. I'm getting like a lot of self-improvement energy from these cards. This is about walking away from things that don't work for you anymore so that you can be happy, basically, is what I'm getting. Look, King of Swords, you're setting healthy boundaries. Okay, King of Swords does not hesitate to cease communication. The King of Swords does not hesitate to say no, okay, or to create boundaries in their life in order to, you know, essentially protect themselves, protect their energy, which is a very healthy thing to do, okay? And it might not feel healthy at first if you're not used to doing it. It can seem cruel, or it can seem mean or unfair. But as long as you are choosing what is healthiest for you, you know, and you're not doing it at anyone else's expense, you know, sometimes people really just don't like hearing no. It doesn't mean that it's the wrong thing to do. It just means that they might not know how to respect other people's boundaries in a healthy way that doesn't hurt their feelings. And that's not necessarily your problem, as long as you, again, are doing it kindly, or you're doing it with, you know, in regard for yourself, and it's not about hurting the other person. Okay, so setting boundaries is not a bad thing. Okay, but oftentimes if we're not used to that, then we could, sorry, my AC just kicked on. But sometimes if we're not used to setting boundaries, it can feel very uncomfortable, and we can feel like kind of an a-hole. You know what I mean? So we've got the Star card coming out, and the Star is really talking about you connecting with your higher purpose. This is about you connecting with spirit, connecting with your divine, you know, North Star, right? So again, it's kind of like you are really focusing on improving your your energy, improving your connections, you know, with spirit, and with your understanding of yourself and where you're going in life. And I feel like you're really focusing on your joy and happiness. Look at that, the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. So it's so funny because you got the Eight of Pentacles, which is all about hard work, right? So maybe you're starting to create more structure in your life, okay, that you feel like is really going to benefit you, is really going to benefit your happiness, your long-term goals, your long-term health, you know, whatever it is. You're trying to make changes, okay? That's what I'm getting here more than anything. Like I said, whether that's other people or other things, or if it's about you, okay? And oftentimes they go hand in hand, honey, because if you're in situations that are not benefiting you, you know, it's okay to take responsibility and look into like what attracted me to that situation, or where did I kind of wear some rose-colored glasses, or where did I ignore red flags. And it's okay to do that type of self-reflection, as long as you don't then allow it to drag you down where you feel bad about yourself, or you blame yourself completely, because other people, you can't control that, you know? So the Hierophant is really all about structure and tradition. So maybe there's a part of you that, you know, you haven't necessarily been participating in structure, or maybe you're just realizing you need more structure in your life, and so you're starting to implement this kind of more rigorous schedule maybe, or maybe you're starting to implement how do I put this? It's kind of like, well, the Hierophant rules, tradition, and oftentimes that's how it's referred to. So it's kind of like maybe you're realizing that not all tradition is like bad, and maybe there's some standards or standardization of things that you can implement in your life that will help kind of like offload a little bit of this emotional responsibility, because then you're kind of like, well, I'm going to try some tried and true methods and I'm going to see if that works for me. You know what I mean? You're like, if it works for other people, maybe it'll work for me too. So this is talking about like looking into, different forms of knowledge, information, again, structures, plans, so I feel like you're starting to kind of get interested in that. Look at that, Queen of Cups, which is such an interesting, like not juxtaposition, but it's like, this is kind of swinging in the other direction where you're like, you're focusing on your emotions, okay? Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the reason why I said it like that was because it's like you're realizing that the more that you're able to walk away from things that aren't working for you or that aren't good for you, work on yourself and your happiness, your passion, your joy, your purpose, then it's like you're going to open room in your life for love, because you're going to be in a much better place to be loving and compassionate. Remember, regardless of gender, this could be anybody. This is about you being more compassionate with yourself and with others. And so I feel like it's like choices. You're kind of like, how do I make good choices for myself that will lead me in a better direction so that I will be in a better position to basically call into my life the things that I want. Okay, Three of Cups coming out, and we also had the High Priestess coming out in reverse right next to it. Now, don't freak out. This doesn't mean that you're not trusting your intuition or anything like that. What it means is that it's possible there's things in your life, okay? Let's just put it like this, okay? I'm getting two different messages. Some of you all may like to imbibe, okay? You may like to participate in the drinking of the alcohol, okay? The Three of Cups talks about celebration, okay? And this is also talking about celebrating life, so it's not necessarily a bad thing here. But I think what Spirit is saying with this message is that this can sometimes cloud you. Okay, and like I said, it's not always a bad thing. It's good to celebrate. It's good to connect, in moderation, which I think might be part of what you're examining here with your life. You're examining, how does this impact me? Am I focusing too much on having fun or enjoying myself and not enough on my intuition, my higher knowledge, right? My connection with Spirit? Because that's becoming the focal point, is realizing that your joy and your passion and your capability and your future is really all tied up and tied in with whether or not you are connecting with Spirit, essentially. Okay, that's what it comes down to. And again, this ebbs and flows. So it's kind of like with how I was talking about how joy ebbs and flows. It's kind of like, maybe you have these moments of divine connection and you feel really inspired and excited and you're like, wow, okay, that's real. It's real, And then maybe you fall out of that way of thinking again, and then you kind of have to build back up to a place of connection, and it ebbs and flows. That's not a bad thing. That's very natural. And I think especially in a world where we are very distracted, we are very busy, it's really, really common, and it's very, very easy for us to fall in and out of connection with Spirit, right? So don't beat yourself up. You're just examining it and you're looking at it. Now, we also have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Again, don't freak out. These are major arcanas. They're here to really timestamp, okay, your journey and where you're at and the things you're thinking about. That's the way that I look at it. So what you're really thinking about is, how do I ensure that I'm successful, basically? You're like, I don't need to leave it up to chance, right? Because you're like, if I leave it up to chance and I just wing it, I'm just, you're like, I'm concerned that that's maybe not the best way to do things. So maybe that's part of this realization. You're like, I'm not necessarily trying to just like wing it when it comes to my life. Maybe there's structure and there's, plans and there's ideas and knowledge that I can implement that will ensure my success, rather than just leaving it up, you know, to fate, right? Because we really do impact our destiny. We impact our journey, and we have a lot of say in where we end up and how things go in our life. And sometimes it doesn't feel that way, but I'm just speaking from experience, and it's also a message that's being channeled that you have the power to basically get yourself into a place where that you are generating more joy for yourself. You're generating more happiness and more fulfillment, right? And more success, okay? Because we did get the 8 of Pentacles. So this is talking about money, love, spirituality, your physical body also. That was coming up with the King of Wands. So, you know, this is just about trying to find balance, okay? And this should be the goal for all of us, you know? And it's a lifelong goal, you know? We don't ever really stop growing and learning, which is one of the beautiful things about life, but it's also a very challenging aspect because we think we should be done at some point, but we're never done, you know? So we just have to enjoy the journey, which is what I feel like you're trying to do, which is part of why the 3 of Cups came out too, because you're trying to enjoy the journey, but, you know, maybe Spirit's saying, hey, there's a time to enjoy, the fruits of your labor, and then there's a time to labor, you know, and create the fruit so you can enjoy it later, right? Because you don't want to, you know, I don't know. I don't want to speak too negatively, you know what I mean? But so let's go ahead and see if there's any more cards coming out. If you like the video, please do make sure you hit that like button. It makes a way bigger difference than you all might know. Just a couple clicks of buttons really helps the channel grow. So hit the like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and please do hit the bell also, whether you're subscribed or not. If you're not getting notifications from my channel, the bell's probably not clicked, so click that bell, and then that way you'll get a heads up when I go live. That is the main reason why I'd like you to get notifications on my channel. But that way you'll know when I go live, and you'll also get notified when I upload as well, okay? Also check me out on TikTok, y'all. I do shorter readings over there, and then I hop right over here to YouTube. So we've got the 9 of Swords coming out in reverse, so it's kind of cool here, this energy of like, again, this leaving something behind, okay? Moving forward towards something better. This energy is very distinct. It's very clear. And one of the things you might be leaving behind here is stress, you know, anxiety, sleepless nights, not being able to sleep at night might be a big thing for some of y'all out there. And so learning how to create these healthier like lifestyle choices or these healthier systems so that you can move, towards your happiness at a quicker rate, and you're kind of like realizing, well, this isn't working, I need to change it. And so that's all this is, if you've lived any amount of life, okay, then you have experienced changes. You've experienced changes in the things you're interested in, the things you're drawn to, as well as the decisions you make and the impact it has on you. So it's, like I said, this is a lifelong experience. So there's nothing, I feel like you're excited for change. I don't think you're afraid of change. I think you might be doubting whether or not you can make these changes low key, but you're leaving that behind. You're no longer doubting yourself. You recognize your power and what you're capable of, and you can see the blank spots, or you can see where you could use improvement, and you're not afraid to look at it. So we also have the 7 of Cups coming out at the bottom of the deck. 7 of Cups is all about choices. It can also represent illusions. So what I'm getting here is you're kind of like, you're like, every day is a choice. I get to choose how I show up in the world. I get to choose what I do on a daily basis. I get to choose what I do from, task to task, right? So you are starting to realize like, wow, if I try and center this idea of being connected with spirit, being joyful, being passionate, and making healthy decisions for myself, then you feel like, well, those little choices add up. So it's kind of like if you want to live a healthy lifestyle, right? For example, and I put it in quotes because it's a very relative term. Everyone has a different idea of what that looks like. But to live a healthy lifestyle, it's kind of like you have to make a series of decisions throughout the day that add up to being a healthy lifestyle, right? So that might be part of what you're doing now, is you're kind of realizing, wow, okay, I just need to pick and choose what I do. And the better choices I make, the better I'm going to feel. And the better my life is going to be, So you're kind of like, wow, well, that's worth it. It's worth the work. That's kind of what I'm getting here. It's worth the work. It's worth leaving things behind that aren't working. Even if it's things I once enjoyed, well, sometimes we can enjoy things that are bad for us, unfortunately. 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay, so You know, maybe you're recognizing that there's a little bit of instability in your life, or you want to create more stability in your connections, especially in romantic unions. But this can also talk about friendships. You know, where are my relationships at in my life? You know, you also have the Two of Wands in reverse. Two of Wands in reverse is talking about, you know, wanting to widen and expand your circle, and maybe you haven't necessarily been focusing on that. So this is kind of like, you know, becoming your focus. Page of Wands in reverse. Okay, so it's kind of, wow, we just got 3 Wands cards all in reverse. 4-2 page, right? So it's like 4-2-1. Or you know, 1-2-4. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that it's kind of like, you're recognizing the areas of your life where that you haven't necessarily put in that work and effort. And these are areas of your life you would really like to flourish and do well and grow and expand. So you're kind of like, well, I just have to get started. You know, you're like, it's just because I just haven't tried. It's because I haven't started it, because I haven't put focus and energy onto it. So you're recognizing that. Look at that, King of Cups. Now we have a divine pair coming out. Okay, and regardless of gender, the king and queen of any suit talks about a divine pair. Okay, so meaning, you know, some people call it soulmates. For me, I talk about it as highly compatible energies. Okay, highly compatible characters. All right, so it's kind of like, you know, I feel like this is what all your hard work is building up to. It's not necessarily for you to be in a relationship and that's like the ultimate goal. Okay, that's not necessarily that what I'm saying. But you know, a divine union and a divine pair can also talk about, you know, different sides of yourself coming together and creating one, you know, healthy, balanced person, right? So but it also could absolutely be talking about relationship. So I feel like you're kind of like, you know what? How about this? If you want, I won't say if you want, I'll say if I want good things in my life, and whatever those things are, whether it be a healthy relationship or stability or success financially, emotional stability and emotional centeredness, right? Being connected with spirit, being joyful, you know, having good connections, all of those things, leaving behind things that aren't worth it anymore. You're kind of like, if I want those things, then all I have to do is work for it. You know, you're like, I just have to put in the effort. I just have to put myself in the right kind of position in order to receive those things in my life. And the best way to do that is by putting in the work and effort to improve myself, improve my circumstance, and then I will be able to achieve these things. It is not, like, I feel like you're kind of realizing, like, it's not rocket science. You're like, it's not about being lucky or unlucky. It's not about being, you know, good enough or not good enough. That's not what it's about. It's literally just a series of decisions and choices that will lead you on a different path. And I think that's really, really the crux of this message here, is you recognizing that you can change your life. You can achieve the things you want to achieve, and you're doing it by breaking it down into little parts and breaking it down into little decisions and little steps, which is literally the best way to do it, because then you create some level of structure, some level of progress tracking, where you can kind of look and see, like, yes, I've been continuing to show up. I've been continuing to do these things. You know, I'm implementing these either healthy lifestyle choices or, you know, different ways of thinking, whatever it is. And it's making a big difference in your life. Like, it's making a big difference. You've also got the 5 of Cups in reverse here at the bottom of the deck, which talks about letting go of the past, letting go of the pain. So this is honestly a beautiful message, a beautiful reading. I really hope that y'all resonated with it and it helped. I just saw the 6 of Swords. That's talking about moving away from, from rocky waters, right? Choppy waters to smoother sailing, okay? So I feel like you really are making big strides in your life, and you're doing it by really trying to keep things simple, just by focusing on the day-to-day, being consistent and showing up and doing a really fucking good job. So congratulations. I'm proud of you. You're doing a great job. You know, keep focusing in that way on your life, and I feel like it's going to make a really big difference. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, y'all. Again, I really hope that you resonate with the message and it helped. Please do remember to hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed, hit the bell. Join me for my live on Friday where you can ask your questions and I'll answer them for free. That'll probably be around like 9-10 p.m. So just come swing by my channel and check it out. Yeah, everything else you need is in the description box. So I'll go ahead and leave it there. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.